As 2026 begins, the world's eyes are on Venezuela, where a U.S. military operation has ousted President Nicolas Maduro, shaking global energy markets. The U.S.-backed interim government faces a stark ultimatum: cut ties with China and Russia and hand over oil reserves to American interests, a move that could rewrite energy politics. This is more than a regional crisis. It's a test between two visions for the future, one clinging to oil, the other racing toward clean energy. For nearly 2 decades, China was Venezuela's economic lifeline, investing billions in exchange for oil. China's loans for oil deals kept Venezuela afloat, even as U.S. sanctions bit deeper. But as Venezuela's oil output collapsed, China's investment became riskier, with billions still owed. Chinese companies used shadow fleets to keep oil flowing, bypassing sanctions. The U.S. intervention now threatens to erase years of Chinese influence and billions in investments. Washington's move signals the end of China's dominance in Venezuela, forcing a dramatic geopolitical reset. On January 3, 2026, the U.S. removed Maduro from power, a move that sent shockwaves through the international community. This bold action was not just about regime change, it was a strategic maneuver aimed at reshaping the geopolitical landscape of the Western Hemisphere. The U.S. demanded that Venezuela sever all diplomatic and economic ties with China, Russia, Iran, and Cuba. These nations had been longtime allies of Maduro, providing him with economic and military support. The U.S. saw these relationships as a direct threat to its influence in the region. The new U.S. plan was to partner exclusively with American energy firms. This strategy aimed to redirect Venezuela's vast oil resources to U.S. refineries, ensuring a steady supply of energy for American markets. The move was also designed to weaken the economic power of China and Russia, who had been major buyers of Venezuelan oil. Oil tankers began departing Venezuelan ports, heading straight for U.S. refineries. Pipelines were redirected, and the infrastructure was quickly adapted to meet the new demands. This rapid shift was a testament to the U.S.'s logistical capabilities and its determination to control the flow of Venezuelan oil. The U.S. aimed to seize up to 50 million barrels of Venezuelan crude oil. This massive appropriation was intended to stabilize the American energy market and reduce dependency on other foreign oil sources. It was a bold move that underscored the high stakes involved. This intervention was seen as a modern-day Monroe Doctrine in action. By using both economic and military power, the U.S. aimed to secure its energy interest and block China's influence in the region. The historical parallels were clear, and the message was unmistakable. The December blockade had already strangled Venezuela's last remaining sources of income, setting the stage for this intervention. Ports were blocked, oil tankers stood idle, and workers were left without jobs. The economic pressure was immense, and the humanitarian impact was severe. U.S. officials were clear in their statements. This intervention was about securing energy for America and denying it to China. The official rhetoric emphasized energy security and national interest, framing the intervention as a necessary step to protect American consumers and businesses. The world watched closely as the U.S. reasserted its dominance in the Western Hemisphere. Journalists from around the globe reported on the unfolding events, and the United Nations General Assembly held emergency sessions to discuss the implications. The geopolitical stakes were high, and the international community was on edge. The stakes were nothing less than the future of global energy power. The outcome of this intervention would shape the balance of power for years to come, influencing everything from global oil prices to international alliances. The world was at a crossroads, and the decisions made in January 2026 would have far-reaching consequences. Before the intervention, Venezuela exported nearly 800,000 barrels of oil daily, over half to China. This trade was a lifeline for both nations, fueling China's rapid industrial growth and providing Venezuela with much-needed revenue. The relationship between these two countries was more than just transactional. It was a strategic alliance aimed at countering Western influence. The U.S. blockade and asset seizure have cut off this vital flow. directly targeting China's energy supply chain. This move is not just an economic sanction, but a calculated geopolitical maneuver designed to weaken China's global standing. The blockade has disrupted not only the oil supply, but also the intricate web of financial and political ties that bind these nations. Chinese oil firms now face shutdowns or forced sales, leading to significant job losses and economic instability. The ripple effects are being felt across various sectors, from manufacturing to transportation, as the energy shortage begins to bite. The Chinese government is scrambling to find alternative sources, but the options are limited and costly. Venezuela's $10-12 billion debt to China is in jeopardy. This debt was supposed to be repaid through oil shipments, but with the blockade in place, the repayment schedule is in disarray. The financial strain is pushing Venezuela closer to economic collapse, and China is left holding the bag. The US is seizing assets China once counted on, making its intentions unmistakable. This is a clear message to the world. The US will go to great lengths to maintain its dominance. The sanctions are not just punitive but are also a strategic effort to reassert control over global energy markets. China condemns the move, but its leverage is fading fast. Diplomatic protests and economic countermeasures have had little effect. The international community is watching closely, but few are willing to challenge the US openly. China's options are narrowing, and its influence is waning. The facts reveal a decisive US power play, using oil as a weapon in a new kind of Cold War. This is not just about energy, it's about control, influence, and the future direction of global politics. The stakes are incredibly high, and the consequences will be felt for years to come. The global balance of power is shifting fast. Nations are being forced to pick sides, and alliances are being tested. The world is entering a new era of geopolitical tension, where energy resources are the new battlegrounds. The outcome of this showdown will shape the future of international relations. The US scores a short-term win, securing oil sidelining rivals and giving American companies privileged access. Venezuela may see economic recovery, but at the cost of trading one dependency for another. Losing China as a buyer and creditor is risky if US promises fall short. China loses discounted oil and faces a symbolic setback, but its economy is resilient. China can replace Venezuelan oil with supplies from Iran and Russia, minimizing the economic blow. The real impact is strategic. The US move accelerates China's push for energy independence. The oil game is changing, and so are the players' strategies. While the US continues to fight for oil, investing billions to secure access to fossil fuel reserves and maintain its influence over global energy markets, the world is witnessing a dramatic shift in priorities. Oil has long been the backbone of American power, fueling its economy and military might. But as the climate crisis intensifies and the world seeks alternatives, the old playbook is being challenged. Meanwhile, China is quietly and methodically building a clean energy empire, transforming its landscape with vast solar farms and wind turbines that stretch as far as the eye can see. This transformation is not just about energy, it's about global leadership in the industries of tomorrow. In 2025, China surged ahead to lead the world in electric vehicle sales, with homegrown giant BYD surpassing Tesla and setting new records. Chinese automakers are now exporting EVs worldwide, reshaping the global auto industry and making electric mobility mainstream. As a result, China's oil demand for transport has already peaked, a milestone that signals a turning point. The streets of Chinese cities are increasingly filled with electric vehicles, and charging stations are becoming as common as gas pumps once were. Every new EV on the road means less reliance on imported oil, reducing China's vulnerability to global supply disruptions and price spikes. Each electric car is a step toward energy independence. China is also installing wind and solar power at a record-breaking pace, outpacing every other nation. Massive projects are coming online every month, transforming the country's energy mix. The goal is ambitious: 3,600 gigawatts of renewable capacity by 2030, enough to power entire continents, and more than the US's total energy capacity today. While the US maintains its vast network of oil fields and refineries, China's renewable build-out is setting new global standards and shifting the balance of energy power. This strategic shift insulates China from the volatility of oil prices and the political pressures that come with dependence on foreign energy. It's a move that could reshape global geopolitics. Trillions of dollars are being invested in renewables and advanced battery storage, fueling innovation and creating new industries that will define the next century. These investments make China less vulnerable to the politics of fossil fuels and position it as a leader in the technologies that will power the future. The US may still control vast oil fields and refineries, holding on to the old sources of power, but China is building the future of energy. One solar panel, one wind turbine, and one electric vehicle at a time. Despite losing Venezuelan oil, China's energy security remains strong. Decades of diversification mean no single supplier can threaten China's economy. China can easily replace lost barrels with discounted oil from Iran and Russia. Most Venezuelan oil went to small, flexible refineries, not critical state enterprises. The US move only reinforces China's resolve to accelerate its clean energy transition. Rather than panic, Beijing sees this as proof its strategy is working. The real race is for energy independence, and China is running faster. Experts see two superpowers on divergent paths. The US doubling down on oil, China betting on renewables. America's strategy is classic petro-state: control resources, deny rivals. China's approach is structural change: dominate clean tech, reduce vulnerability. The US frames the conflict as a zero-sum oil game. China focuses on innovation and self-reliance. Most analysts agree the US wins a tactical victory, but China's energy security is unshaken. The real long-term winner will be the nation that adapts fastest to the new energy reality. Venezuela's crisis marks a turning point in global power. America clings to oil, while China quietly redefines energy security. The US wins the oil battle, but risks being trapped in an outdated paradigm. China's silent victory is its decade-long pivot to clean energy, insulating itself from fossil fuel turmoil. The true power of the 21st century lies in mastering renewables, not oil fields. The world stands at a crossroads: petropolitics or sustainable technology. The nation that leads the energy transition will shape the future. What does true energy security mean to you? Join the conversation below.